This is Ongo cooking up cilantro, cilantro and scrambled egg. How you doing, guy? You big cook? Yeah. You cook that up? You're a little eater, I know that. We just had let you eat whatever you want, little guy. Hey, oh, look at this, man. Is it good? Delicious?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that stuff. Give me a little bit when you're done, okay? Just a little bit, huh? Today, we're going to do a video about Children of the Golden Triangle website and mission, run by Asa and David Stevenson. Asa is an Auca woman who trained at Emmanuel Gospel Fellowship in Hoikrai. She married to this Australian man, and they came up with the unique, original, brilliant idea that if they were to take away a whole lot of Auca children like the other American missionaries, that they could probably make a whole lot of money off it. And so that's what we're going to talk about today, and about this system, this cookie cutter generic system that anybody can do, taking away Auca children to make money, and how these people do it, and what comes of it, and what they will tell you on their website, because it's extremely different than what they don't tell you. It's also in the picture if you know what's going on. And so we're going to go into this pretty extensively. This is going to be another long video, so we want to explain more background in the nuances of these websites, so when you go to look at them, or when you hear about missionaries taking Auca kids in Thailand, you'll know a little bit more about the story than what they're going to tell you. Okay, this is the auca.org website. I'm going to show you how this is done. How you can reference this material yourself. If you right now we have the Ride of Freedom going on, so there's a lot of stuff at the top on the right hand side over here. This is left hand side, books, other links. This is right hand side, which is Ride for Freedom and contents. The middle part is a blog. So if you scroll down to the contents section, which later on we'll put back up at the top, there's contents. You scroll down and you will come to Missions Fake Orphanages right there. It's fine print because there's a lot of stuff. We got to fit it all on the page. So you click on the link that says Missions Fake Orphanages. Now this is a blueprint for taking away Auca children. Just a couple comments from what I have written here. There's no single factor which so dramatically affects the children and cultural identity of the Auca people as missionaries. Predominantly American missionaries. Immediately we note the racial attitudes of these people who would advocate the removal of Auca children from their villages, families, culture, and language. Okay. Now if you scroll down, you will come to, let's see, let's find out. There's a bunch of different links here. I want to go down here to, let's find it. Children of the Golden Triangle, David and Asa Stevenson, Rotary International. Now Rotary International was funding these idiots, and when we put pressure on Rotary about the removal of the children, they said, oh well, David can't explain where the money's going that we're giving him, so we're going to quit funding him. But Rotary Australia keeps funding him. And Rotary never did really answer the issue about, the whole thing's about taking away the Auca children, not whether he pisses the money or not. We know he does that. Okay, we're going to this other page, and this is a lengthy report on David and Asa Stevenson. And I'm looking through here, but you can see it's really long. We got statements by volunteers and everything. Okay, here it is. That was the picture that was on the back of Rotary International magazine, and then we got on to them about it, and they pulled the project. Okay, this is David Stevenson, and Asa, I don't see her picture in here, but she was trained at Emmanuel Gospel Fellowship in Hoikrai, which is an American Taiwanese Chinese woman who they've been doing a lot to smash on the Aka for years. So that's where she came from. So anyway, this is how you reference mission information on our website, and we've got more update work to do on that all the time. But you can get quite a lengthy story and hear about many of the details of this case as it unfolded. Now, they're located on the road. If you take the Chiang Rai Road to Chiang Mai, you'll come to the road to Phang from the Chiang Rai Superhighway, and you turn west and you go a couple miles, and on the right hand side there's a driveway that goes up to the north into a canyon-like valley, really small, and that's where they built their facilities. And they've been taking the Aka out of those mountain areas there for a couple of years now, and several years now, and they have quite a few children. They claim to have 500 children they've taken away. Now, if you go to White Terra Productions on the internet, you can see a movie about David and attitudes and child labor and things like that on a movie called Aka at the Crossroads. You know, we like to see it missionaries at the crossroads. Okay, anyway, that's what we got here. You can look at that further. So I'm going to, now this is the Children of the Golden Triangle Incorporated, rescuing children from the danger of sex slavery. I mean, the danger of sex slavery is never going to stop. So how do you rescue them from the danger? Do you mean you take all the children away from their parents? Anyway, I want to go down through here. Asa tells this story about her growing up, and she's got a picture of traditional Aka. But the traditional Aka culture is not practiced in any Christian Aka villages. We know that very well. And also, the traditional items that you would see in a traditional village won't be there either. So she tells how her parents moved around, her uncle is an undercover cop, narking on her own people basically. And she goes, every year after harvest we would have the swing festival. Well, it's not after harvest. It's 120 days from the time the rice is planted, because it marks the end of the hard work, and after that 120 days the work on the rice slows way down until harvest while it's drying out. Okay, so you don't have to weed and things like that after the swing festival because the time's come to an end. And you wait a couple months and then you go into harvest, depending on where you're located, the temperatures. But the point is that you wouldn't be having a swing festival if you weren't a traditional Aka village, because you can't build an Aka swing without a Zuma, and traditional Aka villages have swings, non-traditional Aka villages do not. So why is she talking about the swing festival and how it was a fun, happy time? So as a missionary, I helped all the children get rid of it. Okay. So anyway, she talks about... it's always about opium, and growing opium or not growing opium. Well, you know, opium was a big business for everybody, so we're not going to villainize the Aka over that. And you read down in through this website, and it's going to say 500 tribal children learning the Aka way. Oh, really? Show me one Christian village that teaches the Aka way. Handcraft, dance, song, and Aka language with Aka teachers, like it came out of a box. But what they don't tell you is that there's no Christian villages in Thailand that teach traditional Aka, because the traditions in Thailand of the missionaries are, you destroy the traditional Aka elder system, you destroy the traditional Aka culture in the village, you burn the gates, you get rid of the swing, you get rid of the apulao. It's a box that goes in the back of the hut that has to do with the ceremonies. You get rid of that. So how do you do the Aka way? You know, how do you do the traditional Aka Orthodox culture? How do you do it when you've destroyed it? So she's lying like a sleazy missionary whore on her website to get money and reassure you that everything's going okay, all right? And why isn't David on this webpage? He's the one that makes all the money happen. He's the one that gets the money out of Rotary in Australia. The tribal children are extremely healthy, happy, and confident at the Aka Training Center. You know, Aka culture is so good that we took away 500 children from their parents because it's not important that the parents raise the children. Now, if you figure 2 kids per family even, you're talking 250 families that lost their kids, right? So they're saying 250 families weren't competent to raise their kids, so we took them away because we can give them better. That's how much we believe in Auca culture and the Auca people. We won't help children to stay with their families and raise up a normal way like that. We'll take the children away and make it into a money pump. And she admitted, along with David, or no, I think they were talking to volunteers that we sent into the village to work at the project back a while ago, that they had taken all this money and bought a resort in Mesoy with it, okay? Well, they couldn't explain at any rate to Rotary International where all the money was going, so Rotary International pulled the project. Okay, on the page it says sponsor a child. Look, they got this little snotty-nosed kid here. And it says rescue a child from the danger of cruelty of sex slavery, agony of an early childhood death, suffering from poverty and hunger, painful rejection, exploitation, and inequality, emptiness of ignorance and illiteracy. We had a little bit of grammar problems here. But the point is every Auca child in every family in such an extremely dangerous situation, couldn't there be food assistance given to families? I mean, while she talks about it's great to be Auca, at the same time she's talking about that all these Auca kids have nothing. They have no future, nothing. So that's why we're taking them away, okay? And they show these pictures. Now, you won't be able to go very deep into this website because there really isn't much depth to it. You'll notice how poor the grammar is here compared to back on the home page where we were looking at a much more articulate essay being written out. Now, they mention, you know, some opium being grown, people being forced to grow opium, trafficking children, and taken into towns, turned into prostitutes, okay? But is this how you solve it? How come there's no mention that, okay, we have an ID card campaign, we oppose removal of Auca children, we support the concept of helping out villagers, a rice bank, keeping the children with their families. How come no concrete solutions are proposed to any of the problems? We don't see it here. We don't see any solutions offered at all to the problems, meaning that are just going to keep taking the Auca children away forever? What are you going to do? And further, you know, the differences there's a lot of differences between the villages. Some villages are poorer than others, but the villages in the region around the Children of the Golden Triangle Mission actually had some pretty fantastic land holdings. And I was there in 2000, 2003, and 4 when Asa and another fellow that was from Emmanuel Gospel Fellowship in Hoi Krai had moved into that area and were just setting up. They were just moving villages wholesale down to the lowlands so they could get control of them. And then the villagers didn't have anything to do except go work for the Thais, doing things like applying herbicide and doing the dirty manual labor for the Thais, but they didn't have any land. But Asa's friend had talked villagers to coming in down to a space, and oftentimes that's done by paying off the headman. So you aren't going to see any real solutions that they're offering for the average Auca child in an Auca family, in an Auca village. How are they going to defend their land? How are they going to keep the family together? It's never mentioned on this website because Asa and David, they're much better parents. They can be good parents to 500 kids, while an average Auca mom and dad can't be good parents to just 2 kids. So that's what you're going to see on this website. They've described enough of the problems, but they haven't described how this long-term solution is going to be. So you can go through this website. Like I say, they're always talking about how many kids are taken away, and you can look, but you won't get very far. Now, the other thing is that we've talked to the Australian Federal Police. They don't seem really interested about this case. I don't know, maybe it's the Australian thing to do, take away Aboriginal children. But we can understand why Rotary International would pull the project, but Rotary Australia is still supporting it. And Rotary International never answered the question, why are you taking children away from their families instead of supporting them in their families? And so this is the real issue between what David and Asa are doing. And it's the cookie cutter method that all the missions in Thailand are doing, and the reason they do it is because it makes them money. Now if you have 500 kids and you have a sponsor for each child, you've got a regular money mill. I think you can go anyway. You can go to White Terror Productions. You'll get an idea of what's going on in the village. There's been numerous times that David and Asa have kicked out volunteers who started asking too many questions, like about the identity papers of the children at this place, where some of the kids were. Some of the Aka in nearby villages said that they thought there were some kids gone missing. So we've got a lot of concern about this. This is Chameleon Social Center in Chiang Rai, a Catholic operation, has 200 kids. There's a few others around, but next to Chameleon, this is by far the organization that brags about having taken the most kids, Aka kids, away. So I think that's a pretty big concern, and we're trying to get some action. So one of the things that Asa says here is that there's no justice, and that they were losing their farmland, people were being killed, logging and selling of the timber all through the mountains, the beauty of the forest was destroyed, trafficking of children was widespread, and that people were losing their farmland. But I worked for years in the area surrounding where Asa is talking about, where they have their Children of the Golden Triangle facility. And the Aka up in there have some really beautiful land holdings, and these are incredible places. And while some of the big forests may have been taken out, certainly there's a lot of forest left, and there's a lot of areas that they were still farming significant amounts of mountain rice. And all that she mentions on her website are problems, but no specific solutions that include the Aka families. So it's like all that's been lost, it's all been destroyed. Well, it hasn't. You go in there even right now, and there's still a lot of Aka villages in there. And so this is what we see over and over on these fake orphanage websites, is they paint this horrible picture, and then they tell you that if you send us money, we'll take all the kids away, or we already took all the kids away, and we'll be the solution. But there's never any mention made of the parents of all these kids, where they're at, what their attitudes are, what they're struggling about, what could be done to help them. There's no mention of it. It's the same in every single one of these facilities. And we talked to you before about Lori and Paul. They work for Ajay's Aka Outreach Foundation with Nancy, and they're from Colorado and Salem respectively. And we told you that they need to get out of the business, and we like to say the same thing about Asa and David Stevenson, that they are in the business of taking children out of the villages to the mission, using the means of deception and coercion, and not telling the parents how much money they're making off each child. And so when you move somebody and you use fraud or deception in the process under the UN guidelines, it's trafficking. So Asa and David Stevenson are doing the very trafficking that they're telling you they're trying to prevent. They're the first responders, the first trafficking responders. When they hear there's an Aka child, they're the first people to show up to try to be the trafficker in charge and take that child. And they are separating children from their culture and their language, and they're telling you that a system that works, rather than protect it and support it, we're going to tear it apart and we're going to rebuild it somehow, with far less resources than all these parents, with far, I mean, a parent, you have 2 adults to a couple of children, they're going to have a couple staff members for hundreds of children, okay? And so our message to David and us is, you need to get out of the business, and we will hound you forever until you do. We won't ever stop. That's our formula. We never stop. We'll keep hounding you until you give the ACA children back to the families and help the families take care of their children, not you taking the children and making money off them. Show us your books, show us your financial statements, publish them on your website, register them with the Australian government, show us what you're doing. Not where we have to log in or get a secret password, but show the public what you're doing with the money, how much money you're bringing in per kid, how many kids you have, and what right you have to take those kids. We know people that you have chased out of the country because they asked you questions about the paperwork on children that didn't seem like it was right. Lots and lots of people have questions having visited your facility about how those children are being made to work like at 5 o'clock in the morning doing child labor. So as David would say, so we can increase the gross national product of Thailand through these children working, and have a tea farm and all this stuff that you can do with child labor like your buddy Luca. So get out of the business.